We shall begin the convocation proceedings with the university anthem.
Now I request Honorable Vice Chancellor to present bouquets to Honorable Chancellor. To Honorable Chief Guest first, and then to our Honorable Chancellor. And I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to conduct the proceedings of the convocation.
Good morning, everybody. Pursuant to the recommendations made by the Academic Council to the Board of Management, that the respective degrees be conferred upon those who have qualified themselves for the same, and pursuant to the decision of the Board of Management to hold the convocation ceremony for conferring degrees upon the candidates who in the examinations held for the purpose have been successful and certified to be receiving degrees in absentia. This virtual convocation of Sri Devaraja's Academy of Higher Education and Research is hereby convened. I request Honorable Chancellor to declare the convocation open.
I declare the convocation open.
Now request Honorable Pro-Chancellor, Healthcare, to deliver the welcome address.
Honored guests, faculty, staff, alumni, parents, guardians, and most especially the graduates. Good morning to all of you. It's an honor for me to welcome you all and to celebrate with the graduating students of Sri Devaraja's Medical College, graduating students of the Allied Health and Basic Sciences, students being awarded the postgraduate diploma, degree, fellowship, and PhD. You'll all agree with me that these are unprecedented times when we are fighting an invisible enemy, which has made us change the way we interact with each other. Though we would have loved to have the graduation ceremony in the traditional manner, but because of the restrictions on large gatherings and social distancing, we have to have had this virtual graduation ceremony. The college and the academy was set up by a visionary leader, Sri R.L. Jalapaji, to provide relief and succor and the best medical facilities to the people of this rural and backward area. We are greatly indebted to him to have steered and guided the institution to attain the stature and standing that it has today. I welcome our Honorable Pro-Chancellor, Professor S. Kumar, a renowned teacher and administrator par excellence, who has been at the helm of the affairs of the Academy for more than 4 years. We are honored to have an eminent statistician, academician, and administrator, Professor K.R.S. Murthy, the chief guest, who has graciously consented to be with us this morning. Professor Murthy is the director of NSC Academy Limited, Mumbai, and Butterfly Innovations Private Limited, Bangalore. Sri Rajesh N. Jagdale, Vice President, Sri Devaraja's Educational Trust, has been providing constant support and guidance to the Academy, and I welcome him to the convocation. I acknowledge the presence and welcome the Honorable Secretary, Sri Devaraja's Educational Trust, Sri G.H. Nagaraja, whose progressive and proactive actions have always helped the Academy to grow from strength to strength. Sri J. Rajendra, Trustee, Director, Administration and Finance, who's also with us, has been a pillar of support for the Academy. We have also with us on stage Pro-Chancellor Academics, Dr. A.V.M. Kutty, who has been with this institution ever since its inception and has held the important appointment of Registrar of the Academy for more than a decade. I welcome Professor G. Pradeep Kumar, the Vice Chancellor of the Academy, a well-known teacher in forensic medicine and a medical administrator. Dr. K. B.N. Prasad, Registrar of the Academy, an eminent pediatrician, neonatologist, and administrator. The Controller of Examination, Dr. C. Muninarayana, has been the main architect of organizing this convocation, and I welcome him. I welcome the two deans, Dr. P.N. Sriramulu, Dean Faculty of Medicine and Principal of Sri Devaraj Medical College, and Dr. M. Jairam, Dean Faculty of Allied and Basic Sciences. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome officers of the Academy, members of the sponsoring trust, members of the Board of Management, Academic Council, members of the press and electronic media, parents and relatives, invited guests, and most importantly, the graduating students. Dear students, even after you leave the portals of this institution, you'll always be welcome here, and we look forward to hearing from you about your personal and professional achievements as you build on the foundation laid by this institution. This day is about you and what you have achieved through hard work, dedication, and determination. My best wishes to you for this joyful and momentous occasion. Thank you.
Now I request Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Academy to present the annual report of the Academy.
Good morning, everybody. Distinguished chief guest for today's function, Professor K.R.S. Murthy, Honorable Chancellor Dr. S. Kumar, Sri Rajesh Jagdale, the Vice President of the Trust, the Pro-Chancellors of the Academy, Dr. Ranjan and Dr. A.B.M. Kuti, Registrar of the Academy, Dr. Prasad, Controller of Examination, Dr. Munnarayana, Dean Faculty of Medicine, Dr. Sriramalu, Dean Faculty of Allied and Basic Sciences, Professor M. Jairam, Sri Nagaraja, the Secretary of the Trust, Rajendra Director, all of the trustee members, my colleagues in the Academy, all the faculty members of the Academy, dear students, parents, and all invitees who are watching this live streaming, welcome to the 10th annual convocation, and I'm privileged to be presenting the annual report of our Academy, my first since I joined as Vice Chancellor in 2019 March. I am fortunate to carry forward the legacy of the growth and development of our Academy initiated by my worthy predecessors, and I'm thankful to them for providing me with a good launch pad. Dear graduating students and their parents, let me congratulate you both for the unconditional support and students for their efforts and mentors for their guidance. And today we are here because of the 10th annual convocation, culmination of the efforts of the parents, the teachers, and the students. I'm sure you all wanted to be on the campus to receive the most coveted trophy in person. The outbreak of coronavirus disease has deprived us of a lifetime opportunity of physical participation in this convocation. We can understand your feelings, but let's stay safe and move on. Our founder, Sri R. Jalappa, a crusader for the cause of the downtrodden and poor, continues to strive for the upliftment of the backward classes and supported for their cause. He established the Medical College of Sri Devarajars in 1986, the R.L. Jalappa Hospital and Research Center in 1994, and the Sri Devarajars Academy of Higher Education in 2007. The motto of the college has been Sarve Jana Swasthya Bhavantu, and our founder wanted to provide health to those who need the most and who can't afford. And the motto of our university is knowledge for posterity, and we are all striving to fulfill the visions of our founder. The responsibility of carrying forward the legacy is on all of us, and we are ably guided by the Vice President of the Trust, Sri Rajesh Jagdale, Secretary Sri Nagaraj, Director Finance Sri G. Rajendra, and all other trust members of the Sri Devarajars Educational Trust. Dear friends, excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. I would like to share with you what's new for the last 1 year on our campus. We are happy to share with you our progress of the academy. We started MD Psychiatry. We had an enhancement of the postgraduate seats to 25 numbers in all the clinical and paraclinical subjects. We are starting from this academic year, the Bachelor in Audiology and Speech Language Pathology, BSc in Cardiac Care Perfusion Technology, BSc in Respiratory Care Technology, BSc Cardiac Care Technology, and BSc in Emergency Medicine Technology course are going to be started from this academic year. We are happy to share the progress of our academy, and we have started competency-based medical education for the new batch of MBBS, and all other programs, we are looking at the outcome-based education, the CLOs and PLOs, course learning outcomes and program learning outcomes. The department-specific and trustable professional activities have been initiated for all the postgraduate departments, along with workplace-based assessment, separate board of faculty for medicine and allied health sciences, and PhD program in all the allied health and basic science program. We have started to welcome our students into a new environment with induction program that is essential for their adaptation on campus. A foundation course for the MBBS students as per the regulations, along with an induction program for the allied health basic sciences students to make them comfortable. And we initiated Founders President Gold Medal to the toppers of BSc programs under AHS CBCS course program. We have started the white coat ceremony for the medical students for this first time. And it's important because donning the white coat is a lifelong desire for many a student, which is a powerful symbol of commitment to serve the patients and the community. And we are happy to share with you, we started this white coat ceremony for this batch of 1920. Dear friends, healthcare professionals require constant honing of their skills, and we leave no stone unturned to ensure that every student is competent as he leaves the portals of this college. To enhance the skills, as we are lifelong learners and believe that the knowledge and skills of our teachers are to be honed regularly, we provide ample opportunities by conducting several workshops, and UDOM takes a prime role in conducting these sessions. We have ethics as an integral part of our profession, and we have established a UNESCO chair of bioethics on a campus to empower our fraternity with ethical values in teaching, research, and patient care. Corona has put us in a new challenge. Lockdown due to Corona taught us newer concepts of living. We adopted the virtual world in all our aspects of our functioning, be it administration, teaching, or evaluation. We have on place a learning module developed by our own faculty members, which are uploaded onto the learning management system. We are conducting online classes. The Board of Studies and Board of Management meetings were also held online, including the parent, teacher, and student meetings to ensure the parents that all is well in spite of the pandemic. Even we have conducted cultural events online of our students. This is an evidence of the cultural activities during the lockdown. As Albert Einstein said, in the middle of difficulty lies the opportunity, and we are all utilizing this opportunity. Assessment is an important tool, and we strongly believe that assessment drives learning. And we educators have a social responsibility to the public to ensure that no graduate leaving the portals of this institution will go out without the required skills and competencies. We have in place OSPI and OSCE, centralized exam and valuation of internal assessment examination, which many schools do not do it. And we have started something new to ensure that the internal examinations are also audited by external members when they come for assessment. We have a new degrees being with more secure features, and certificates are being issued from this academic year onwards. Research is the backbone the three wings of our professionals, academics, service, and research, and it's essential to inculcate research temperament. We extend full support for the same. We have support for publications, we support for seed money grants, and support the faculty to participate in conferences, publication incentives, and also extramural fundings are being supported. Students participate in research because we encourage our students to take part in research from an early age so that they can make a contribution to the mankind in terms of new challenges which we are facing. The student research wing, to inspire them, we invited a young scientist from Germany, Dr. Partha Dapke, who himself is a PhD scholar after MBBS. He was able to inspire our students on the avenues of research as a career. Also, it has been our constant endeavor to support the professional development of our faculty. We had workshops for intellectual property rights, good clinical practice, and our hospital, located in a rural setup, is a referral center not only for the district, but also to the neighboring districts and adjoining people of Andhra and Tamil Nadu. We have a tertiary care hospital with 1,200 beds, NABL accredited, NABH is in the process, and we have got a newly established, renovated emergency medicine unit, and we have specialty and super specialty care in all specialties. The RL Jalapa Hospital is a cancer care center, and at any given point of time, more than 100 patients of cancer care are being taken care. We have a state-of-the-art dialysis unit. A new women and child care block has been initiated with dedicated OTs and ICUs, one of the very few institutes in the country where we have a dedicated women and child care center. We also serve to the neighboring districts and states, and we have a COVID care center. Our hospital is equipped with state-of-the-art intensive care units to cater to all segments of a patient. We've got critical care unit, NICU, PICU, SNICU, SICU, and MICU. As a social responsibility, we are providing leadership to our district healthcare team. Our leadership, headed by our medical superintendent, Professor Azim, is leading from the front, and we have facilities for doing RT-PCR facilities, ventilators, adult beds, isolation wards, pediatric beds with ventilator support, and COVID positive cases are being treated here. More than 200 cases of adult respiratory distress cases have been treated on our campus the last 3 months. We provide training to healthcare and police personnel to ensure their safety, who are the frontline workers, and we feel proud that we as a team are able to achieve this success for this district. Students are the reasons why we are here, and we give them the best possible support. Student support and care include scholarship for both the MBBS and AH students. We have a very unique place where students can earn while they learn by spending some time beyond the working hours and support themselves. We have a new hostel policy. We have provided student health insurance to all the students of an academy, mentoring and student counseling. This year we are starting peer mentoring, an innovative plan where the seniors will act as mentors round the clock, and this is launched next month. And we've got excellent sports and cultural facilities on our campus. We have the state-of-the-art gymnasium. We celebrate with our students National Youth Day, Navratri Utsav in the girls' hostel, several cultural activities where staff and students participate and have a good relationship with the community. We have a health club initiative of the physiotherapy department to ensure that mental fitness and physical fitness are important for all of us. This is a drive initiative to keep us fit to our health. International Yoga Day is being celebrated. Yoga contributes significantly to our physical and mental well-being. Our alumnus are our ambassadors who bring laurel to their alma mater. Their regular homecoming brings us a festive atmosphere to the campus, and they spread the good work of what they were when as students, and periodic visit to the campus, they are disseminating the information of the growth of our academy. Our campus is a green, eco-friendly campus with a lot of greenery around. I would like to place on record the efforts done by our chairman when he launched the campus with a lot of green trees. We believe in good governance with good intentions. Implementation with transparency, integrity, and teamwork is our core passion. As our governance, we have initiated assessment and accreditation for the NAAC Cycle 2 in process. NABH is in process. We are accredited to the NABL. NIRF rank is where participated. And we also participated in Atal ranking of institutions on innovations achievements. We have policies in place for performance appraisal, substance abuse, house allotment, cadre for nurses and non-teaching staff, and staff rotation of the non-teaching is also in place from this last year. Infrastructure and growth, we are greatly indebted to our management for supporting the growth of the academy. We have started a new building of emergency medicine. A new boys hostel capacity with 500 is on the process, and we hope to get it functional by end of this year. We have a state-of-the-art central gymnasium for staff and students, and we have budget allocated to the tune of 47.24 crores for construction purposes and growth. The Library Information Center provides round-the-clock online access to the staff and students. With a central library, good e-information center. We have collaborations with 24 institutions, 1 international and 23 national and regional. Our association with the All India Institute of Speech and Hearing, Mysore, is a big leap in the direction to help in screening of the newborn hearing defects, and we will place on record the Dean of LRL Sciences, Professor Jairam's initiative on this matter. Dr. Pushpavati, Director of AISH, was here for signing the MOU on the campus. Similarly, our association with the Vitla Foundation helps in early detection of eye problems in the newborn children. We have a relationship with Noble International University, USA, that will strengthen in our research collaboration. We work in harmony with our government and help in implementing various projects. One such is a daycare rehab center for the mentally ill persons. Our social responsibility, which is an important element for the society, we are providing a residential block for the mentally challenged children school of Antarganga, Kolar, and to the call of our nation, we have been responding every time when the nation calls us by supporting financially. For the Antarganga mentally challenged school children, we are providing a residential complex of 1.16 crore. We have provided relief for flood relief, COVID care for the PM Relief Fund, Kolar Lake Revival, and we provide hospital charities to the tune of 6 to 12 crores every year, where we provide free food, free admission, free investigations, and free surgeries for several patients who can't afford. We also, as a part of our social responsibility, try empowering our society in various fields of our expertise to ensure justice to our society. We had the AGP Pratap Reddy visiting us when we conducted a workshop for the police officers. We also have several distinguished visitors on the campus, which will strengthen our purpose to excel. Dr. Russell Franco D'Souza, Director of Education, UNESCO Chair of Bioethics, was here to launch our UNESCO Chair of Bioethics on our campus. Dr. Ved Prakash Mishra, an eminent educationist of national and international repute, was also present during the launch of the Bioethics Chair. Professor Pushpavati, Director, All India Institute of Speech Pathology and Hearing, has visited us. Professor Shashidhar Venkatesh Murthy from James Cook University, Australia, is a visiting professor for us, and he is helping us in establishing a digital lab for pathology. Professor K. Ramnarayan, an education and a renowned scholar from Manipal, has visited and conducted several workshops for us. And Pratap Reddy, Additional Director General of Police of Karnataka, was a visitor for us. Mr. Krishna Shastri Pendyala, a renowned cybercrime expert of international repute, visited and addresses on the challenges of cybercrime on our campus. I have been awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Indian Academy of Forensic Medicine in January 2020 this year. Dear graduates, Today is a landmark day in your lives. It tells you how far you have come. Keep learning, keep trying, keep accomplishing, keep venturing throughout your journey. Hearty congratulations to all of you for your achievement. And I feel happy to share with you today 294 graduates leaving the portals of this great academy, and we would like to wish them all their best in your future endeavors. I would like to place on record the support I get from my Chancellor, Dr. S. Kumar, Air Marshal C.K. Ranjan, our Pro-Chancellor, and Pro-Chancellor A.V.M. Kutty for a constant support, and that will enable me to function of what I am today. Along with me, who take care of the academy, are my colleagues, Venkateshwar Prasad, our Registrar, Muninarayana, the Controller of Examination, and Professor Sriramlu, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, and Professor M. Jairam, Dean, Faculty of Allied Health Sciences. I deeply appreciate your contribution and place on record your commitment and support for functioning to me as a Vice Chancellor. Thank you, dear colleagues. Dear friends, I would like to thank you all to give me an opportunity to present the report of the Academy. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
I request Dean Faculty Medicine to present the candidates to the Honorable Vice Chancellor.
I present to the Honorable Vice Chancellor the candidates for the programs of Doctor of Philosophy, Fellowship in Head and Neck Surgical Oncology, Master of Surgery, Doctor of Medicine, Postgraduate Diplomas, Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery in absentia. The names of the awardees, as mentioned, shall be displayed in the university website.
I have the honor to request you, sir, to admit the candidates by virtue of the authority vested in you as the Chancellor of Sri Devaraja's Academy of Higher Education and Research to the Doctor of Philosophy PhD, Fellowship in Head and Neck Surgical Oncology, Master of Surgery MS, Doctor of Medicine MD, Postgraduate Diploma, Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery MBBS in absentia.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as the Chancellor of Sri Devaraja's Academy of Higher Education and Research, I admit all the candidates presented, and in token thereof, they have been conferred with the said degrees and diplomas.
I request the Dean Faculty of Allied Health and Basic Sciences to present the candidates to the Honorable Vice Chancellor.
I have the honor to present to the Honorable Vice Chancellor the candidates eligible to receive the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Science, and Bachelor of Science in absentia. The names of the awardees, as mentioned, shall be displayed in the university website.
I have the honor to request you, sir, to admit the candidates by virtue of the authority vested in you as the Chancellor of the Sri Devaraja's Academy of Higher Education and Research to the Doctor of Philosophy PhD, Master of Science MSc, Bachelor of Science BSc in absentia.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as the Chancellor of Sri Devaraja's Academy of Higher Education and Research, I admit all the candidates presented, and in token thereof, they have been conferred with the said degrees.
Now I request Honorable Pro-Chancellor Academics to introduce the chief guest.
Very good morning, all present here, and those watching this live program of the 10th convocation of Sri Devaraja's Academy of Higher Education Research. On the occasion of 10th annual convocation of Sri Devaraja's Academy of Higher Education Research, Kolar, I am pleased to introduce the chief guest, Professor K.R.S. Murthy, an eminent scholar in management studies, an accomplished academician, and an astute administrator. Professor Murthy obtained his master's in statistics from Mysore University. He was awarded gold medal by the university in recognition of his distinct academic brilliance. He had nearly a decade-long assignment in the industry settings before proceeding to United States to pursue Masters in Management at Sloan School of Management in Massachusetts Institute of Technology, USA. He obtained his doctorate in business administration from Harvard Business School, Boston, USA. Back in India, 1974, he joined Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, as professor of business policy and was actively involved in academic reforms and innovations in management studies. He also served as the director of Institute of Rural Management, Anand District in Gujarat State during 1980-81. Professor Murthy was appointed as the director of Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore from 1991 to 1997. Subsequently, he served as Vice Chairman, AICTE, All India Council of Technical Education in the year 2000 for a brief period. Professor Murthy was a member of Disinvestment Commission, Government of India, Honorary Chairman, Board for Information Technology, Education Standards of Government of Karnataka, Chairman, Board of Governors, the Institute for Social and Economic Change, Bangalore. Professor Murthy had served as director on boards of National Stock Exchange of India, Life Insurance Corporation of India, and Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, ONGC. He has been a member on governing bodies of several educational institutions and not-for-profit organizations, to name a few: Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode, Indian Institute of Capital Markets, and National Institute of Securities Market, Mumbai. Currently, he serves on the board of directors, NSE Academy Limited and Butterfly Innovations Private Limited, Bangalore. He is a man of great humility and affable nature. Professor Murthy, we are honored and privileged to have you as our chief guest for the 10th convocation. Now I invite you to deliver the convocation address.
Thank you, sir, for the introduction. Respected Chancellor, Dr. S. Kumar, Honorable Vice Chancellor Pradeep Kumarji, esteemed faculty, staff, Dr. Rajesh Jagdale, President, trustees, parents, alumni, distinguished invitees. I consider it a great honor to be invited to be the chief guest at this convocation of the renowned Sri Devaraja's Academy of Higher Education Research, and a privilege to be delivering this address. First of all, I would like to congratulate the graduating students. You are now entering the world of practice, and I would like to wish you all-round success in your professional lives. It may be useful on this occasion to reflect on what is a profession. A profession has three dimensions. All professions have three dimensions: a body of theoretical and practical knowledge, a public purpose, and an ethical code. The body of knowledge and practice changes. As new knowledge is developed, living styles change, and technological changes are adopted into practice. Over the last few decades, the body of knowledge in all fields of education has become interconnected and interdisciplinary. I'm sure this is true of the field of medicine as well. A profession, thus, is a dynamic concept, and a professional has to keep learning and adapting. In this respect, I'm glad to note that the STU Academy of Higher Education Research has been foresighted in adding to its portfolio of programs several programs in allied health sciences, which I am sure has increased the opportunity for you all to learn in a highly interdisciplinary environment with innovative courses and opportunities. Now, the application of theory to practice is an art. Yeah. As I said, the profession is a dynamic concept, and a professional has to keep learning and adapting. And this has to happen at both the institutional and individual levels. Now, the application of theory to the practice, as we are entering the practical world of affairs, is an art. And learning this art goes far beyond the regulator-prescribed requirements of continuous learning. This application of theory to practice requires you to approach each situation you face in the world of practice as an exercise in learning this art and apply your experience and theory to a situation and learn from the feedback from all the stakeholders that are involved in this particular situation. I'll now go briefly to the public purpose dimension of profession, of the field of medicine and health. The public purpose is to ensure the health and safety of human life. The COVID-19 has brought the medical profession into preeminence. We have had to stop all economic activity, or at least restrict it severely, in order to be able to protect or ensure the health and safety of human life, which has been the primary objective or public purpose of medicine. Because of this preeminent purpose, medical professionals have come into prominence, and they have always occupied a highly respected place in society. In the current crisis, the services of the medical profession, that will include all the related services, have been widely appreciated the world over. Several hundred professionals have laid down their lives also in serving the suffering and to prevent the spread of virus. Indian original professionals have received much praise. I thought some of you would have seen this appreciation being given to one of our doctors from Mysore, Uma Madhusudan, and the YouTube is making rounds, and just I'll play it very briefly. You would have seen the YouTube. This doctor had saved the lives of many of the COVID infected patients in New Jersey. And because of the social distance restrictions, no news, noise, volume is no. The doctor is standing in front of a residence there, and a convoy, including the fire. Stop it now. Do you want to continue? Stop. Yeah. Now, success should be measured by the extent of appreciation that you earn from your service to public. And winning this appreciation is far more meaningful than, say, own pay and wealth. To win the appreciation, you have to anchor your practice in values of empathy, humility, and a spirit of service. The ethical dimension of the profession, in order to create a win-win situation for both the service provider and the service receiver, all civilizations have prescribed an ethical code. And following this ethical code is extremely important if you want to win the appreciation that will be enduring and lasting. You need to resist opportunities that can take you astray. There will be plenty of them because the relationship between the doctor and the patient is a very unequal and imbalanced one. And you should never lose the invaluable trust of the patient if you want to win that widespread admiration, appreciation for your ethical dimension of the profession has been most well expressed from thousands of years. And I just briefly read out to you the ethical dimension of the medical profession as enunciated by Charaka before the Christian era. not for self, not for fulfillment of any worldly material desire or gain, but solely for the good of suffering humanity, I will treat my patient and excel all. Dear graduating students, please follow this advice which has stood the test of time, and I'm sure you would benefit from it in a way that is very satisfying and fulfilling for you in your life and extremely meaningful. Congratulations and best wishes for a successful and meaningful career. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our Honorable Chancellor to felicitate the Chief Guest, and I request our Honorable Vice President of the Trust and Honorable Vice Chancellor to join him.
Award of the degrees under the various programs under the Faculty of Medicine and under the Allied Health and Basic Sciences programs. The eligible candidates receiving the degrees under the various programs, total 215 candidates receiving the degree in absentia. Candidates receiving the Doctor of Philosophy under Faculty of Medicine, Dr. Usha G. Shanai, subject of Physiology. Doctor of Philosophy under Faculty of Medicine, Dr. Ranjita Gadde, subject of Biochemistry. Doctor of Philosophy under Interdisciplinary Faculty, Dr. Malati KV, subject of Nursing. Award of Founder President Gold Medals to the toppers of the Academy for the postgraduate degree, that is MD/MS, postgraduate diploma, undergraduate, that is MBBS, and graduate and postgraduate courses of Allied Health and Basic Sciences. Gold medal in postgraduate under paraclinical subjects, Dr. Shah Menon, Bharat Kumar, subject of MD Pathology. Gold medal in postgraduate under medicine and allied subjects, Dr. Lakshmi K. Swami, subject of MD Anesthesiology. Gold medal in postgraduate under surgery and allied subjects, Dr. Anjali P.K., subject of MS ENT. Gold medal in PG Diploma under Medicine and Allied Subjects, Dr. Pallavi N., Diploma in Anesthesiology. Gold medal in PG Diploma, Surgery and Allied Subjects, Dr. Deepa Patarde, Diploma in OBG. Gold medal in MBBS, Dr. Smita S. Menon. Gold medal in postgraduate, Allied Health and Basic Sciences courses, Sweta HL, MSc in Medical Laboratory Technology. Gold medal in graduate, Allied Health and Basic Sciences courses, Afrin Taj, MSc in Medical Laboratory Technology. The candidates receiving the MD/MS degree certificates under Faculty of Medicine, postgraduate under paraclinical subjects, total number of candidates receiving the degree, 4. So these are the list of the candidates. Postgraduate under Medicine and Allied Subjects, total candidates receiving the degree, 19. The list is as follows. Postgraduate under Surgery and Allied Subjects, total graduates receiving the degree is 25. The list is as follows. Postgraduate diploma under Medicine and Allied Subjects, total graduates receiving the degree is 8. The list is as follows. Postgraduate diploma under Surgery and Allied Subjects, total candidates receiving the degree are 8. The list is as follows. 6. Candidates receiving the MBBS degree certificates, total candidates receiving the degree is 105 candidates. The list is as follows. Under Faculty of Allied Health and Basic Sciences, the candidates receiving MSc in Medical Laboratory Technology degree certificates, number of candidates 2. Under Faculty of Allied Health and Basic Sciences, candidates receiving the BSc degree certificates in Medical Laboratory Technology, Imaging Technology, OT Technology, Optometry, Renal Dialysis Technology, Radiation Therapy Technology. Total candidates receiving the degree is 43. The list is as follows. Thank you.
Now I request Honorable Chancellor to deliver the presidential address of the 10th annual convocation.
Cordial greetings and my regards to our distinguished chief guest, Professor K.R.S. Murthy, my ever-supporting members of the trust, the vice president, secretary, and the director, my learned colleagues at the university, our dedicated teachers, my dear students, parents, and guardians. Convocations are important events in the life of an institution and its graduates. These occasions give us a sense of identity and continuity across the years, reaffirming the duty of each generation to transmit the best of knowledge, wisdom, and culture to the next generation. Under normal circumstances, these occasions provide an opportunity to the graduates to ceremoniously receive their degrees and merit credentials. It's a landmark event for the students and for the institution. Institutions delivering quality education like our university believe not only in producing graduates in hundreds year after year, but we have concentrated on producing viable graduates who can meet the requirements of the community, professionals who will face the intense competition successfully and prove to be globally viable. Our principal goal is to create men and women who are capable of doing new things and not simply repeating what people before them had ever done. It is to create people who are creative, innovative, and who would be the future trendsetters. In recent times, as been expressed by all my colleagues before, an unseen virus has created a pandemic of unprecedented magnitude and has shaken humanity across the globe, making us all reinvent and realize the benign neglect that all of us have contributed towards the environment and nature so far. Many during this period have faced immense hardships in daily life, and millions have suffered in this period. At this moment, we in the university, in keeping with the guidelines issued by the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Ministry of Health, and guided by our sense of judgment and not being emotional, we were forced to deny you graduates the privilege of being in person today, and we're sincerely sorry for that. Today's event is to adhere to the timelines that are prescribed for universities to offer their certification to enable our fresh graduates to apply in time to other centers of excellence to pursue their dreams. So this had to happen the virtual way. As you enter the professional world, my young friends, I want you to remember that there is no easy way to the top. Anything you choose in life comes with its own inherent positives and negatives. Bigger your ambitions, greater will be the issues that you have to face and win. When you want to walk, no issues. But when you want to run a marathon, there are lots of issues in training yourself for the same. If you choose to be just existing like so many others, no issue. But if you want to be the best, worthy of your potential, then you have to solve larger issues. Only when you are willing to be chiseled, you will become an idol worth worshipping or a monument worth admiring. There is no easy way to the top, and those who made it to the top did not take the easy route. To easily say he hit an effortless 6, what is the amount of training that goes into that to achieve that in each and every match? Nothing like growing in the right hands. Your best committed teachers at this institution have, by their systematic training, helped the ability in each one of you to become your proficiency. Please always remember them, respect them, and respect your alma mater. I wish to share with you a small thing that has inspired and taught me so much in life, and I'm sure many of you will also draw the benefit from this. This is a story of two seas. One is called the Dead Sea. It's actually a lake, not a sea. Its salt content is so high, 35%, almost 10 times the salt content of the ocean, that a human can easily float. You can lie down on that lake and read a book. Why is it called the Dead Sea? No life, no marine life, no vegetation, because of the high salt content. Now we come to the other sea, the Sea of Galilee. It's less learnt about even in literature, but when you go down, it is just a little north of the Dead Sea. The interesting thing is both these seas are fed by the same river Jordan. And the Sea of Galilee is full of marine life, wonderful, nearly 30, 40 varieties of all varieties and of nature you can enjoy there. Same region, same water source. One area is full of life and the other is dead, called the Dead Sea. Why? It has a huge philosophy to teach each one of you. The Dead Sea is below the sea level. Whatever water that enters there never ever exits. And it is estimated that nearly 7 million tons of water evaporate each day from that. That is why that high salt content. Whereas the Sea of Galilee, water enters and just flows out. It's just a transit point. It has so many tributaries and so many ways to feed. What do we learn from this? We are fortunate as doctors, my young friends, to get wealth, knowledge, love, respect in society. You'll get it in plenty if you adopt the ethical codes that our chief guest reminded you of. If you do not learn to give, we could end up like the Dead Sea, receiving. All the wealth, all the knowledge, all the love, all the respect can evaporate one day. You will be left stranded. Please don't get the Dead Sea mentality. Good ideas with the spirit to support humanity. In every means that every opportunity that you get to support life, alleviate suffering, please do it. And you will be as viable, as adorable and enjoyable like the Sea of Galilee. Please choose the way you want to live. Make this a habit to share and to give and experience life to the full potential. And one small thing before I wind up. This is an amazing Sufi story. There was a great Sufi teacher. He was almost in his deathbed. His students knew he's going to die. They ran up to him and said, "Master, one last lesson." He said, peep into my mouth and say, tell me, what do you see? All of them anxiously peeped and said, Master, you have no teeth. Only your tongue is there in your oral cavity. This man says, Darwin was wrong. If it is survival of the fittest thing in the oral cavity is the teeth. Even after burying a body, after months you can salvage the tooth, not one. All of them are gone. Why? Why has the tongue survived? The tongue is adaptable. It twists, turns, rolls as you speak. It again bends and moves. When you eat, it never gets bitten. So my students, be adaptable in life. Be willing to take twists, turns, and even sharp edges at times. You will survive longer and you will be respected longer. Before I wind up, graduates, you belong to where you want to go. Think improvement in everything you do. Set for yourself high standards. Believe it can be done. Never compete with anybody else. Compete with your own self. Your tomorrow should be better than today. Limitations are those that we set for ourselves. Constantly remind yourself, every morning, tell yourself that you are better than what you think, that you should achieve, and make your alma mater proud. God bless you.
So I request you to kindly dissolve the convocation.
I dissolve the convocation. Please rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे